Hello and welcome, Whale family, to another episode of Makersplace Whale. I'm here today with renowned sculptor and artist Zevi G. He's about to drop the Love, Joy, and Crypto collection, which celebrates the wealth created from crypto and spreading that wealth with others, which I'm really excited to hear more about this. And thank you for being here with us, Zevi.
Hey, what's up, Heather? Thank you.
Hey. Um, so, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you initially got into the crypto art world before we get into the details of this new series.
Sure. I'm 37 years old today. I
Happy
started.
birthday!
I don't know. Sorry, I meant like I'm 37 now. But thank you.
Oh.
June's my birthday. I started my first business, I think, when I was 18 years old, and I went on to create numerous businesses. So I understood crypto right when crypto came out. I made my first purchase in Bitcoin when it was around $3,000. And I've followed it ever since. Sometimes, I was more active in the crypto space than others, but I definitely believe strongly in crypto and the whole space. Around 7 years ago, I started creating art. I wanted a bit more from my life than just, chasing money. And that's when I started creating my art and creating these characters. 456 Land is a project, an art project that I've been working on for quite some time, and it's where I created my own cartoon series with all original characters that I came up with in this NFT drop. So I guess when NFTs came about, for me, it made a lot of sense to be part of it. One, I believed in the future of crypto. And two, it gave me another outlet to express my characters, what they wanted to say, and give them some emotions and a voice, so on and so forth. And I did make short clip animation videos in 2017. I wasn't even thinking NFTs at that time. I was thinking of how I could portray the message I was trying to give. So, in the introduction, you mentioned something about money and to do good with money. Mr. Moneybags is one of the characters I created in 456 Land. And the whole concept of that character was, at first sight, it may look like it's trying to glorify money, but Mr. Moneybags goes much further than that. It talks about giving back. So it kind of pokes fun at everyone's obsession with money. You see him with the two money bags, and you're instantly just looking at the money. But he's here to share a different message that we have to look after one another, and we do have to
Mhm.
give back. So
I love that. And that's definitely something that it feels like there's a more symbiotic and democratic distribution of wealth and recognition for artists in the crypto space. And so it's interesting that before you were really ever part of the crypto space, that you've created this character that is kind of spreading that message that we should be looking out for each other and be generous and kind. Um, I actually skimmed. I just passed over it when I was looking at your Instagram before, but this I wanted to talk about this project too because it involved people taking a
definitely.
rose and sending a letter. Yeah, can you tell us about this? I thought it was a really sweet concept.
Yes, and I could dive right into this. If you did want to scroll, I think it was December 2018 or December 2019. There's a video of Mr. Moneybags going into a local food bank and dropping off bags of money. This way he could help feed the hungry. So it may have been December 2018. This particular
This is
sculpture.
December 4th, 2019. I don't know.
It was the year prior. Sorry about that. It's probably 12 posts before that. You'll see an animated video. That right there, right there. So you could pick which. Yeah, that video right there. You see, and this character is in the NFTs. Two of the three NFTs showcase this character. So he's walking down the block. He sees there's a line at the food bank, and there isn't food for everyone. He's like, "Hey, what good is this money if I can't do good?" So he walks right in, puts the money bags on the counter, and says that he's going to advocate that this doesn't happen again, and that's the purpose of this animated clip. Um, at that point, NFTs were not on my mind; they were not popular, but doing an animated video with a message was on my mind.
Yeah, this is really cool, and how it's evolved now in this new drop with Love, Joy, and Crypto. Um, so as of yesterday, this link wasn't up, so I'm really excited to see the pieces that are part of it. Do you want to talk about the different editions and the story behind them?
Yes, so the chopper is Mr. Moneybags. This was the first NFT that I created. It's not the first that I got to release, but this was the first NFT that I did create. Being that it was the first NFT, I wanted it to be more of a celebration. Crypto's picking up, and like I said, I've been following it for years, so I feel like we're at a higher point of crypto, and it's been like this for the past, X amount of months.
Mm,
With that being said, while creating this piece, I had that in mind that crypto is going to go front and center in our future, and this is a piece celebrating the crypto space. It showcases a building with Mr. Moneybags holding Bitcoin bags, and with a helicopter dropping off coins.
nice. And hold on, let me get out of full screen here. And is this series like meant to be viewed in succession, or they all kind of have their own story?
So each one does have its own story, but I think, yeah, To the Moon is very similar.
Mm,
It wasn't, the introduction, it wasn't the celebration. Now that we're here, it's going to be going to the moon. That's how I see the future with it. And then the third NFT was a bit different, but it is important to me in 456 land to always share positive messages. And the third NFT is about spreading love. It showcases one of my characters going up to a building and painting a mural, which is a heart. And spreading love, it's important to me, and I think it's important for all of us. I think stuff like that helps make the world a better place if we understand one another, care a little bit for one another, and that even goes into that rose sculpture you mentioned earlier. That sculpture, it's just a reminder to do a kind gesture every day. It doesn't cost money. Maybe giving an actual rose could cost you money, but a typical hello, goodbye, putting smiles on people's faces, that's always free. And I think it's
yeah,
important we do that for one another.
yeah, it makes such a difference. And I love these like interactive types of work that encourage people to actually do it in real time, um, and to remind them to do it not just when they're experiencing, an installation piece like this, but every day. Make the time for that.
Yeah,
Um,
that was actually a really fun project. The sculpture was displayed at Red Dot during Art Basel. And there were 4,560 roses in the wall, and we
oh, wow.
handed out roses to anyone that was passing by as a gesture, moving forward. I also had postcards where people were able to fill it out, and then I took it to the post office once the show was done and sent it out. So it was all about, gesture, doing something kind.
That's really sweet. And I'm sure that this has something, this way of being has something to do with your upbringing. But I was reading your bio, and saw it said that the artist was never intimidated by his underprivileged and very orthodox upbringing. On the contrary, that became the very essence of his strength and will to turn his life around and reach others with positive and relevant messages. Could you tell us more about your upbringing and how that's influenced your work and what you're trying to tell the world through your art?
Sure. So I did not write that line. It may be very accurate, but it wasn't me that wrote it. So I grew up in New Jersey. I didn't grow up in a household with money. My father passed when I was at the age of 5, and my mother was left with 6 kids. So it was definitely a tough, upbringing. My mother, had a hard time with all the kids. A lot of the choices I made in life, had to do with the situation I was in. And at the age of 20, I was locked up and in a state prison in New Jersey. I came out 1 year
Oh, wow.
later. Yeah, you're asking. I'm a straight shooter, so not bullshit. But I did 2 years of house arrest, and I started a business while I was on that program, and I continued to hustle. I did want to do better for my life. I told myself if I come out, I want to, be a good member of society and to do the right things. And I just kept hustling. I opened around 5 different businesses within that 9 year period. And then I had some health
Wow.
issues, and that really took me to a point in my life where I said, is money the only thing I want, or do I want more from life? And that's where the art kicked in. And I started creating. I started dedicating a lot of my time to creating. I sold off some of my businesses so I could have more time to create. And now fast forward, I have zero regrets. I'm very happy about it. It's something I'm very passionate about. I love building. I got a lot of experience with some of the businesses that I created, with casting stuff like that, and it brought me to here, sharing positive messages and creating art. I think all art is great. I think all art is positive, even images that aren't talking about love. I think just showing the future generations that creativity, is something that we could do. Don't be scared to do it. So I think all that is extremely positive.
Wow. So you've had quite a ride, and had multiple businesses before you got to this point, um, which is really amazing, especially after your experience having been to prison and turned things around.
Yeah.
Um, that's yeah, it's really cool. And so I was curious, like how do you, I, let me back up. I'm thinking about what you had said before too. You said you've been sculpting for only, well, I want to say only, but for 7 years. You've been
So So I started 14 or 15 years ago a casting business where I would
mm,
cast for others, not for myself. So I did have experience with casting and fabrication by the time I started creating art.
oh, so now it's like making sense how the connection started. So was there was there an artist, or was it just seeing everybody else's work that you were casting that inspired you to want to create your own sculptures?
Yeah, so the work that I was doing wasn't artwork. It was more structural types of casting or stucco. I'm not sure if you're familiar with stucco, but making different designs to put on a house. If somebody wanted, 2 lion heads at the side of their doors, that was a typical thing, in day to day with that company. So it was learning how to make 3D objects, learning how to make them strong enough, and then affordable and cost efficient, and get them up. And I was pretty much working off what the designers wanted. And that business I did sell, and I pretty much went from doing what others wanted to see in reality to making what I wanted to see in reality.
Wow. And do you have any influences as a sculptor and artist that you look up to?
So many, but Jeff Koons would be one if I was to pick one.
Hmm. I was gonna say the figures kind of reminded me a little bit of I'm trying to recall the artist names, but I'm from New York, and there were these little brass figures that were all over the city.
I know,
I'm sorry, all over Union
I know,
Square Station.
I
I'm
know
sure you know what I'm
exactly.
talking about.
I know
Yeah,
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah. They have like they're totally different faces, but there's
Tom
something about it
Modernist.
that Tom
Tom,
Modernist, yes, yeah.
so
Um,
I did hear that before. I was not influenced by Tom's work, but we did work with the same fabrication. My metal pieces were made in the same fabrication place that Tom worked with, so I got to see his work, got to see it, being made. Um, I do own one of his pieces, but he's a bit controversial. Um, but
Mm.
other than that, his work is awesome.
I wasn't aware of the controversy around his name. Actually, I'll have to Google that later. I'm curious now.
Uh, He shot
Um,
he shot a dog as an art project,
oh
and
my God. No,
I've
that's not okay.
no,
No,
not
no,
okay with me.
no.
No,
I didn't think so. Not with the message that you're trying to send with your work. I highly doubt it.
not at all.
um,
I also have three dogs, and the main
oh,
character for 456 Land is based off my Tipple, who I love dearly, and I care for animals. She was a rescue, so yeah, very different ideology in animals.
oh yeah. Um, so I'm actually curious about this expression because like I have my own interpretation, but I noticed this expression is recurring on a lot of your figures, and I was curious what the meaning is behind that because I feel like it can be interpreted a couple different ways.
So I wanted something completely imaginary. So I started with the side profile of my Pipple, pretty much identical, and then I wanted to make it, much more animated than realistic. And I went for there's no mouth and nose. It's one it's all in one, and that's in the center, and that's all the characters from 456 Lands. So the character is based off a dog, but with an imaginary twist.
Oh, okay. I was curious if the expression itself meant something because to me it looks like uh, the character is like whistling, like kind of nonchalantly, like or like they're happy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was where I was going with that. But it also could mean that they're maybe not, maybe a little careless or something, like carefree, not careless, carefree.
They're definitely carefree, and you're onto something. Each character is a bit different, so it could
Mhm.
show a little bit of a different expression. Just I made some of their heads a little bigger, a little smaller.
Yeah.
But they're all in the same family, but they're not identical.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I've noticed that, but it's something that just felt like, I wondered if there was like a common theme with this, like kind of whistling expression, if it meant the same thing every time, or if maybe it's slightly, like even here I can see like the mouth is wider here than it is on this one, and he's holding a heart and the other one's holding money bags. So I feel like the meaning can change depending on the context of what the character is doing too.
No, that character stays screaming to spread love. That
Mm.
character is called the messenger, so I'm glad to see it's doing its job and giving you that motivation.
Mhm. I was curious, do you actually collect any NFTs yourself, and are there any artists that you've been following lately?
I don't, but it's something that I do want to get involved in. I've been very busy with my own NFT projects, and I told myself once I get a little more time, I was going to start collecting NFTs. So it's something I do see in the future, but
Mm,
as of now, I'm just watching the market.
mm. And as someone that was working with a very physical medium like metal casting, how's it been for you getting into 3D digital art?
So I still paint every day. So
Mm,
I'm not letting go from sculptures and from canvases. That is still something that I do on the daily.
yeah.
Um, I, I love the NFTs. I think it's just a new medium, and for 456 Land, it was a great medium to be able to incorporate. It's physical sculptures will always have a place in this world, and I don't think anything can replace that. When we
No.
see a large sculpture, it plays with our emotions. An NFT has the same ability, but it's more doing it through a phone or doing it through a desktop. And I think NFTs are here to stay, but I don't think there is a comparison between the two. So for me, being able to add the NFTs, I'm looking at it as a new medium that I'm incorporating.
Yeah, I think, and NFTs too, like there's so much unexplored ways that we could be expanding the use of these digital pieces, like, through creating immersive experiences. Like it's not just a JPEG that you look at on your phone or your laptop. We can create entire worlds with digital art in a physical space.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I do think that's the future, but when somebody walks out of a children's hospital and they see a large sculpture and they smile,
Mhm.
during a very, very rough day, I don't think anything will ever replace that.
No, I agree. There's something to be said for, I'm a visual artist too and painter, and um, I will always want there to be some kind of tactile aspect to my work. Um, Even if I were to create a digital piece, I would want there to be a physical counterpart to it, or a physical experience counterpart to it, because I still appreciate digital art on its own. But yeah, I don't think that the world at large will ever fully let go of physical art. It it's just there's just something about it that you can't replace.
I think my favorite sculpture today is in New York outside a hospital, and it's the dog that has the taxi upside down on its nose. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one. Very
Oh,
large sculpture.
uh, I'm not sure I've seen that. Is it? Um, anyway, I'll have to Google that one too. But that sounds really cool and delightful to see something like that. Um,
Yes.
hold on, why is it's not letting me escape full screen?
But I
Sorry.
think I think NFTs add so much value to the art world. So I don't think it's a competition. I think it's more
No.
about integrating the two. I think
Mhm.
for certificates of authenticities, there's no better way than NFTs. The
Mhm.
traditional, paper that you're sending out versus an NFT that you could just transfer over. So I think it's more about incorporating it with the physical, but I do understand that some artists are strictly digital. So I like that NFTs gave them a platform, and I'm
Mhm.
excited to see art progress. Whether it's exactly in the sculpture or the NFTs, I'm just happy to see it evolve and more people getting involved.
Yeah, I do think that with the NFT boom in like 2019, 2020, it really I think it's shining a light both on digital art but also on the traditional art world. It's giving more value to art in general, and in a way that I haven't seen in my lifetime for artists while they're alive. To get paid and to get recognition like this. I think it's kind of new in art history.
Correct. It's a game changer and in a very positive way, in my opinion at least.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, so aside from the Lovejoy and Crypto collection, it's dropping November 3rd. That's tomorrow.
Second,
Uh,
second,
at 3 p.m.
second. It's dropping today
Oh,
at
oh,
6.
today at 3 p.m.
So no,
Sorry,
6:30.
that's 6:30 Eastern time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I had 3:30 Pacific, so it's the same thing. Okay, cool. So 3:30 Pacific time, 6:30 Eastern time. The drop is starting. I'm going to share the link again in chat. But I was curious, do you have any other projects or drops going on that we should know about?
Yes, I'm working on a degenerative collection with 456 land called 456 Collectors Club, and I'll be posting in the coming weeks more about it. But it's an exciting project, getting closer and closer to completion. And like we were talking about the new aspect to art and incorporating it, creating a community through such a collection is something new and something I'm extremely excited about incorporating with my art. So,
Oh, can you talk a little bit about how you're creating this community through your work?
so I'll definitely share more as I progress with it. At right now, everything in regards to the community, we've written it down and we've discussed it. I've discussed it with the developer, and there's a few routes that we may take. But right now I'm just working on the artwork, making sure I have all of it complete. It's 4,560 different NFTs.
Oh, wow.
Um, so I've been focusing, putting most of the focus on the creation side and making sure that, everything is good on that end. And as far as the community, we spoke about many different things about making possibly a limited edition toy to go just to these NFT holders and numerous different other giveaways that we are able to incorporate. I do plan on giving a portion of the royalties to stay with the community. So nothing is set in stone, but it's exciting to be able to have that mindset and that concept.
That's really cool. And um, I'm curious, like, how that's going to work. I would love to see the work behind it too. And so you've created over 4,000 NFTs, and they're all hand created by you.
No, so they're not. No, I am working with a developer. I'm just hand drawing the initial one, and then
Gotcha.
working with the existing accessories that I have. So I've created over 300 STL files.
Hmm.
So I am
Cool.
able to correct. So I've been able to utilize some of those accessories and bring it into these renderings. So definitely working with what I have. Not everything is brand new. Just the
Mhm.
designs are all new for this collection.
Yeah, that's still a huge undertaking, and that sounds like it's going to be really cool. And I love this idea of using part of the NFT sales to give back to the community and build something there. Um, and I'm sure
And,
with the message that you're trying to spread, it's going to be really beautiful.
and I am excited to start collecting NFTs. Just with everything that was going on, I figured I needed to focus on my work and then move on to
Yeah,
collecting NFTs. But I've been
yeah,
trading crypto the last year, and I've watched crypto pretty much on the daily. So I believe this is here to stay. I think it may be volatile over the next year or two, but this is our future.
um, yeah. I agree. And so I have a question from our from our stream text. What NFT collections has Zevi really enjoyed browsing through?
I honestly like everything. I love all collections. I obviously have a soft spot for things that are fun, positive, a little cartoonish. I didn't grow up watching cartoons. I grew up in an Orthodox Jewish household, so
Mm,
only later on in life, probably by my teenage years, I didn't continue with the path at that age. And I realized probably at the age of 15, 16, I was watching, cartoons with my friends. We were talking about it, joking about it. I even remember when South Park had the Blame Canada thing. Me and my friends were all singing Blame Canada. So when it came time to making art, I felt this would talk to my generation, and it does talk to me as well. So I do like things in this category, but I also appreciate all creations. I watch, I see everything people post, and I like that as well. So I definitely like a range of art.
gotcha. Yeah, there's just so much out there, um, especially with the PFP projects, and some are better than others. But I love what I love about it is it's encouraging people to make art en masse, and there's just more of it now, which is great. Yeah, somebody said Cryptoys is a fun little cartoon project. I would check. Yeah, it is cute. I would check that out. Also, Doodles is really adorable and really well done.
Thank you.
Um,
I'll check them out.
yeah, yeah. So just to recap, for the drop tomorrow, or sorry, today in about 2.5 hours, um, there's going to be, this is the one of one edition here, the chopper. and then we have 2 editions of 5 for To the Moon and Spreading Love. So
Each one of these do come with an AR file. I don't know if it's
oh,
each
cool.
one. It may be just the last one of each. So the 101 would come with it, and the last NFT of the collections of 5 would come with a AR file. So we didn't even touch on that, but that's also part
Mhm.
of this new digital age, having the AR sculptures, which it's for somebody like me who started creating sculptures, X amount of years ago before these tools were here. It's amazing, simply amazing. I've had many people over the course of time, wanting to take pictures with a large scale sculpture, and with an AR sculpture, they're able to do it in their own house simply off their phone. So
That's really cool that it comes with it. So you can create the feeling like you're really there standing with the sculpture,
yeah,
um, as well as have this displayed on like a mural screen or something like that too. Yeah, I
yeah,
love that you've thought about different ways to experience this piece or these pieces.
yeah. Thank you.
Um, Great. Well, thank you for talking with us today, and good luck with this drop. Again, just a reminder, everybody, that's happening at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I've shared the link at Makersplace. If you're watching on the replay, you can just go to Makersplace, look up Zevi G, and check it out. It's really cool stuff and spreads a good message.
So thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone for joining. And have a great day.
Great. Thanks, Zevi. Bye.